everyone, and this is day 22 of the 30 days of Pentatonic guitar licks. And today we're going to do this more simplistic run. So we've been doing some more complicated stuff, and I want to mix it up with some stuff that's approachable. If if you're not into all the hammer-ons, pull-offs, and all this stuff first. So this is again in the first position. So this is going to be an A minor pentatonic scale. The first pattern, first position, and this is just like an awesome rock feeling lick, and I wanted to introduce you to also show you how important feeling and timing is, right, in certain things. Like you can make things sound so different. Like a good example is with sliding, right? When we do sliding, we can go, let me get you some clean on here. So you can slide right up, or you can slide up so you hear both notes, like, what a big difference, right? So, or, right? So there's a different way you can use all techniques, like bends, right? Like you can just bend, you can be up there already, or you can go up, right? Hear the note and come up, or you can do up, down, up, like. You can hold one note higher while you're doing it, so like that. There's so many ways to use the techniques, right? So not just thinking about them just simple, like a hammer-on pull-off or a bend and stuff, but really putting your feeling into it, because that's what makes them unique and different, right? That's where players get it. So that's where their originality comes through, right? Like all the techniques are the same, all the notes are the same, we all have the same stuff to play with, but it's what you bring to it. It's your energy, your originality, your creativity. It's how much you allow yourself to be free in that way without holding yourself back by judging yourself, right? Like this, so many people, and I've done this to myself too, but you see it so much, and it's sad to be honest, like because how much we hold ourselves back from being creative because we're afraid to make a mistake or to make something that we think, we judge right away, our creations. You know, some songs that I've written started out where if I let myself judge the song, it would never have been created as an awesome song that I love now, because it starts off very simplistic. It starts off as a simple idea, you know, that might not sound very great in itself. I mean, think about some of the Beatles melodies, right? If you just take the melody out of that song, like We All Live in a Yellow Submarine, look at those melodies by themselves. If you thought of that, think about it, if you thought of that melody, you would probably think it sounds like cartoonish and silly, right? But it's one of the most popular songs, right? So really don't try to limit yourself by that, by looking at it simplistically. Remember, it's going to grow into something else. It's going to be surrounded by other instruments and other things. So it doesn't mean you have to make everything into a song, but try not to get rid of anything, dismiss, and judge it right away. That's the thing, the judgment, right? It's not about whether it's good or bad. It's about whether you judge it immediately and don't give it a chance to grow, right? So don't judge yourself. Don't compare yourself with like Elton John and all these people who write, who are already famous, because it took them time to get there. I'm sure all of these people, Billy Joel, I'm sure Stevie Wonder, I'm sure Stevie Ray Vaughan, I'm sure they had tons of songs that were never put out because they just didn't make the cut, right? So you're going to write a lot of stuff that's not going to work out. But try not to judge yourself. When you're jamming, don't worry about how it sounds, right? That's what holds a lot of people back from jamming, is that you're worried about, oh, I'll make a mistake, it sound bad, and stuff like that. Just do it, It doesn't matter. We all make mistakes. That's how you learn, okay? So that's enough of that. Speech over. Let's get into the riff. I'm going to show you two ways to play the beginning. Remember, we have that awesome rock technique that I showed you on a few licks already, where you do both notes at the same time. So the way I'm going to show you the first way is that you put your third finger or fourth finger, remember you can use either, on the 8th fret of the 2nd string, and your first finger stays on the 5th fret of the 1st string. Then you bend the 8th fret of the 2nd string up until it's the same note as the 5th fret on the 1st string. So like this. These are the two notes, right? Obviously different. You're going to bend this 8th fret up to the 10th fret like this. So it's going to be the same as that note, which is the same as this note, the 5th fret on the 1st string. So bending it like this, both at the same time, pick. So it sounds like one note eventually, like, okay? So that's the first way to do it. The way I'm going to finish showing you from now on, if you'd like to do that, feel free to do that. Otherwise, this is the way we're going to do the lick. That's the only difference, that first part, okay? So you're going to put your bend the 8th fret up to the 10th fret, that's the first note, like that. And then you're going to pick the 5th fret on the first string, so like that. And then put your 3rd finger or 4th finger back on the 8th fret of the 2nd string and pick that, and then the 5th fret on the 2nd string, so like this. Like that. If you're doing it the first way, you go. Okay. So what I really want to give you here is the feeling thing. So see how we hold that bend? We don't just bend it and go. Not like that. We go. There's a hold. It holds it. It takes up a little more time. And you do the same thing with the second bend in the riff. So I'll show you that as well. But we go. So it's like the bend is slow, and the other notes pick up for it, make up for that timing. So those go right in a row, 1, 2, 3. And then the end of the run, very short one, the end of the run, you put your 3rd finger on the 7th fret on the 3rd string, and your 1st finger on the 5th fret on the 3rd string. You're going to pull off to it. So you pick the 7th fret, something we use a lot, right? Bend up, come back down, pull it off, so like this. Okay, so like this whole run goes like this. This is the second part. So when you come to that bend, you hold, that bend gets held, so it's a feeling. You emphasize that bend, like. So the coming down, the coming up of the bend is held longer, right? And when you come back down, it's a fast. So it's a fast release and pull off. Those, again, just like before, that pulling, bringing the 7th fret back down and pulling off takes up less time, right? So it's a little faster to make up for the time of holding it, that feeling part of the bend. So like this. Right? And you end the bend, the riff, the lick, by bringing your 3rd finger on the 7th fret on the 4th string. So, okay, so if you do it slowly, it'll be like. So that takes up more time. If you're doing the beginning, you can do double or single. I'll show you single and go. Okay, just like that. This 7th fret, you're bending up to the 9th, so. You're bending up to the 9th fret, so like that. Okay? So it's a little higher. You're not using the blues note. That would be like that. But you're gonna go. Okay? So it's a deep bend. Again, slowly. A little faster. Right? It's got that feeling in the bend, so. Right? And if you do the doubles, so. Alright? So, that's it, guys. If you have any questions about that riff, any questions about that lick, or anything you want to see on the channel, let me know. And until next time, I'll see you tomorrow for day 23.